As a native Black American and a proud member of the Muscogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. Help me help you discover your roots with a personalized genealogy consultation. Paper trail genealogy matters. DNA tests can't prove ethnicity or tribal affiliation. You must search through paper records to dive deep into your family heritage. During the meeting, I will teach you how to navigate the genealogy process with ease. You'll learn how to link tribal affiliation with your ancestors, and I'll show you the step-by-step process I went through to gaining tribal citizenship. Take the first step to unlocking your past. To book a consultation, send an email to mike@keymediapro.com.
To know, Mike is the real deal.
Yes.
His information is real. He's a humble brother, and he's all about the information. He's not about, personal gain or personal applause, personal credit. This is about our nation. It's not about one individual, but it's about us collectively as a people. And Mike is all about that, So we stand behind the brother 100%.
If you have any doubt, get it out your head immediately. So yeah, I'm going to continue to work with Mike as much as I can. So I want to say thank you, Mike, for actually taking the time out and talk with me and my husband. You definitely informed us on a lot of things. And the people out there that's watching, he will also inform you on a lot of things that you may not even know about. So I want to say thank you again, Mike.
Well, I appreciate that, and I look forward to continuing to work with you guys.
The Flicks Tape.
They have no future as they have no past. Tomorrow as today, slavery will be their only possible privilege.
We gods, man. We kings, man. We lords.
I was born black, I live black, and I'm gonna die probably because some cracker that knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head.
This is the remix. My father was raised in the era when black niggas couldn't claim Native American.
Aborigine, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white aborigine. Rather, aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine. You want to be called an American. Aborigine actually means from the beginning. Two Latin words, ab meaning from, origine meaning the beginning.
Great shock around the age of 5 or 6 or 7 to discover the flag to which you have pledged allegiance along with everybody else has not pledged allegiance to you. It comes as a great shock to discover that Gary Cooper killing off the Indians when you were rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians were you. That the Indians were you. It comes as a great shock to discover that the country, which is your birthplace, and to which you owe your life and your identity.
Remember that big Indian dude in that movie?
Mm-hmm.
He was cool. And then he couldn't talk unless he was talking about gum.
Yeah. I think you're not supposed to say Indian either.
No way, really?
Yeah. I think you're supposed to call them African Americans.
Oh, you're shoemakers now. And more importantly, you're a person of color. You're no longer a Nipmuc person. And that shows through in these county histories and also in the census records at the time. You find a person described in the 1860 census as an Indian. In the 1870 census, they're described as a person of color or a colored person. Same person, but the census taker, as part of the white dominant society, decides that this person is no longer Nipmuc.
Since y'all always screaming about DNA, watch what the biology professor says about DNA. Watch this.
Smith's breakdown from Ancestry showed 97% European and 2% Asian.
I'm a black girl. I am not a Jewish white lady. I'm black. My parents were black.
She contacted Ancestry with questions, but says a rep told her the results are accurate.
These DNA tests for ethnicity entertainment value only.
William Gilliland is a biology professor at DePaul. He says DNA kits can be great for connecting family members and finding relatives, but the science for ethnicity testing isn't as concrete.
There's nothing that confident for ethnicity. There's no diagnostic nucleotide. You can say this person is from Europe, this person's from Africa.
You see that? DNA can't tell you where you're from. A scholar tells the truth. Watch this.
But many African Americans, you are the Native Americans. You're not even African Americans, you're Native Americans. You're the ones that they brought blankets with, was it smallpox or whatever diseases, and wiped out entire communities because they said they came in peace, but they actually came in war. And they are still warring us right until this day. So there are those beloveds of you who really don't feel any connection to Mama Africa. And this is just, you know, a confirmation, a reassurance that America belongs to you.
So Africans know this history, but nobody else does? Come on, make it make sense.
In me. And so with the help of my wife, we extracted enough saliva to send off in the mail. We were so excited to see the results. After about 3 months, we were shocked. My lizard was 51% Ashkenazi Jewish. He was also 48% West Asian. This was really interesting. They also gave us a little bit of his background and his history, what he liked to eat, etc. Let us know which animal's DNA we should send in next.
You don't have to try to be something you're not.
Trying to be something I'm not? Trying to be proud of my African heritage? That's being something I'm not, then fine.
My grandmother was a full-blooded Iroquois.
I know all of that, Mama.
Then know this. I am alive because of the blood of a people who never scraped or begged or apologized for what they were. They asked only one thing of this world, to be allowed to be. It broke my heart when you changed your name. I gave you my grandmother's name, a woman who bore 9 children and educated them all, who held off 6 white men with a shotgun when they tried to drag one of her sons off to jail for not knowing his place. And you had to reach into an African dictionary to find a name that would make you proud.
My father was raised in the era when black niggas couldn't claim Native American. Making music would've thought I had help, but the Indians I know wanna be the chief they self.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me get some fists and feathers in the chat if you can hear me loud, crisp, and clear. And we'll get this party started. Hit the like button on the way in. Share the video if you can. Throw 5 on the Cash App or the PayPal if you support the mission. And let's get on with the content. Today we have a special guest. We have somebody that I had a genealogy consultation with not too long ago. And we were having an interesting discussion via email, and I thought that my audience would benefit from this discussion. So I said, hey, let's go ahead and chop it up via live stream. So this is a live call-in show. If anybody wants to weigh in on the topic at hand, go ahead and click the link. It should be pinned in the chat. But let's go ahead and bring up our guests. Coming from the back to the front is Antoine. How you doing, Antoine?
Oh, good. How you doing yourself?
Doing well. And am I butchering your name, or is your name indeed Antoine?
It is Antoine. You got it correct.
Yeah, I meet with so many people each week. I'm like, I'm pretty sure his name's Antoine, but just want to be on the safe side. But yeah, brother, why don't you go ahead and let the people know where you're calling in from, what you're planning on discussing today. And since we did have a consultation not too long ago, if you can let the people know how that was.
I'm calling from the Illinois area. It's a small area called Rockford. And, you know, I've been watching your show, and you talked about genealogy, got me looking. And so I started to talk to some family and started looking, and that's where we got into our consultation.
Oh yeah, most def, most def. And then I know you were sending me some emails about some additional information that you were able to find. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep. We'll go ahead and lay it on us. Oh, I think we lost your audio.
All right. Can you hear me?
Now it's back. Yeah.
Okay. One of the first things you want to know is that sometimes there's a mix-up in some of the genealogy, through family oral history. But, like we talked about, I thought it was through the paternal side of my grandfather, but it ended up being through the maternal side. And through my fourth great-grandmother, I found out that she was registered, her father was registered as Chickasaw. And then from Chickasaw, I found out his father was Choctaw. And then from Choctaw, I found out there was a tie to the Cherokee. And not only was it a tie to a Cherokee, he was a chief of the Cherokee. And what would strike me as very interesting was it was stated on Ancestry that they did a test and found out he was from Italy, saying he was Hebrew. So I found that very interesting.
Oh yeah, I find that interesting as well. The more I dive into Aboriginal history, the more I find a strange Hebrew connection. There was even tribes where they dug up one of the conical mounds, and buried with remains was something called a Decalogue stone. And the Smithsonian took it and displayed it, and apparently they purposefully displayed it upside down. But when some historians came and displayed it right side up, they realized it was written in Hebrew, and it was literally listing the 10 Commandments.
Yep. I've heard of that before, but never thought it would be, anywhere in my genealogy or in family history that it possibly could be a tie.
Yep. So basically, it went from you hearing that you may have some Indian in your family to, you do the consultation with me. We exchange some information. You keep doing some digging on your own, and you find that not only are your ancestors affiliated with several tribes, but they even have documentation that points to them being Hebrew. And I think we lost you again. Come on, guys. Technology works until it doesn't.
No.
Now you're back.
Yeah, I keep screaming. All right. So, see, that's what I'm trying to find out his name. I'm trying to remember his name right now because I believe I emailed you his name. It was like E. Noel. I'm trying to make sure I say it properly. Give me a second. I'm gonna try to take a look. Hopefully the screen doesn't disappear on me.
Yeah, I'm also pulling it up on my end. Let me see. Is it in that long email thread or is it in a separate email? Oh, I think we lost him again. Yeah, while he's looking for it, I'm gonna look for it on my end because the brother did send me an email with this information. Y'all know my inbox is flooded. Oh yeah, I got it. So yeah, I found it. It was Chief Inoli. And actually, if it's okay with you, I can actually download this image and share it with everybody right now.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Give me just a sec. And this is why I try to encourage everybody to do their genealogy. We don't know what we don't know. Matter of fact, I did a genealogy consultation with a brother earlier today, and he's from Haiti. His people are Haitian, and I was still able to walk him through how to do his genealogy, and now he's able to trace his genealogy to French documents in the 1700s. So not just if you're in North America, but if you're in the Americas, period, do your genealogy. The paper trail is out there. And here I've got this image right here. Give me just a sec. It wants to take its sweet time loading. There we go. Is that him?
That's him right there.
And it's tracing all the way back to the 1700s. Cherokee Nation, Spanish, Portuguese, Hebrew, Alabama Cherokee. Yep. Come on. The proof is in the pudding.
Like, I'm just so curious, like, you know, now I'm kind of curious, should I try to, this is joke wise, but should I try to jump in on some of the Holocaust reparations?
Hey, to each their own. I think we are such a multi-ethnic, multicultural people to an extent that we probably have more than one party that owes us reparations. Okay, some of us have
Yeah.
ancestors that were slaves to the tribe, so the tribe owes us reparations. Then the U.S. government owes us reparations. Then them Africans that sold some of us owe us reparations. Come on. Shout out to Casey. Casey says, "Wow, Mike is the detective of the case." Hey, I'm not the detective. I just like to be the catalyst. Okay, so I just like to give people the information I've obtained, motivate them to go further, and you can see that this brother met with me, and it's not that I did his family tree for him. It's not that I went and did the investigative journalism and found his ancestor was achieved. No, but the information I gave him was enough to keep him keeping on. And when he does the research, hey, was this something that was like extremely difficult to find?
It was for a second because the consultation was about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And but then I connected me to a cousin of mine that, we haven't spoken so long. I didn't think they were still around. She was actually my father's cousin, but so connecting me to her, we started chit-chatting, and she sent me some information, and that's where everything started popping up. It started connecting everything up until where I want to say the 7th. And then just this morning, when I had sent you this, as a matter of fact, that's where this popped up and say we found a father, I believe a Buck, it might be Buck Franklin, or no, not Buck, an Edmund Ned Petty, which is supposed to be his son, Chief Noelli's
I
son.
got you. Yep. And see, and if you were interested in getting tribal citizenship, then all you would have to do is look on these records for a tribal roll number. Once you get that roll number, search it on the Dawes roll. They'll pop right up. And then whatever tribe they were a part of, you just go through that formal citizenship process. And if there's any questions or concerns that arise during that process, like I said, even though we consulted a couple weeks back, I'm still in your corner. So just let me know, if you have issue finding them on the Dawes roll, or if there's any questions that come up when it comes to applying for citizenship, if that is something you're interested in.
Okay. As a matter of fact, let me send you. It's Chickasaw. So I'll be right back. I'll email it to you right now. It has the roll number. Give me a second.
All right. And while we give you a moment to find that, we'll cut to a commercial break. I also met with a lovely couple earlier for a genealogy consultation, and they were nice enough to give your boy a video testimonial.
To know, Mike is the real deal.
Yes.
His information is real. He's a humble brother, and he's all about the information. He's not about, personal gain or personal applause, personal credit. This is about our nation. It's not about one individual, but it's about us collectively as a people. And Mike is all about that, So we stand behind the brother 100%.
If you have any doubt, get it out your head immediately. So yeah, like I'm going to continue to work with Mike as much as I can. So I want to say thank you, Mike, for actually taking the time out and talk with me and my husband. Like, you definitely informed us on a lot of things. And the people out there that's watching, he will also inform you on a lot of things that you may not even know about. So I want to say thank you again, Mike.
Well, I appreciate that, and I look forward to continuing to work with you guys.
World of ambiance with scented candles. Before I start my live streams, I set the perfect mood by lighting a couple of these beauties. Crafted with precision using a formula passed down from a foundational Black American woman to her partner, each candle is a masterpiece, blending essential oils and natural fragrances seamlessly. I frequent this brother's eBay store not just for his candles, but also for his range of quality products. Support a Black-owned business and elevate your space with handmade scented candles delivered straight to your door. Click the link in the description and embrace the power of ambiance.
All right. Let's get back to it. Ain't no shame in my game. Your boy is shadow banned and demonetized, okay? I got to keep the lights on, goddammit. I got to keep the lights on. YouTube be playing with your boy. You know, if you ain't got a YouTube premium account, they putting ads all through this video, and they ain't giving me nothing. Goddamn, we up here working for free. But guess what? Although I may not be getting the ad revenue, although YouTube unsubscribes you guys and doesn't give you guys notifications, although this is a uphill battle, I still wouldn't change anything for the world, okay? Because I like to be the antithesis of things I see wrong in the world. I like to be the change and whatnot, you know, MJ starting with the man in the mirror type shit, right? And I just wish that there were more people pushing this information, sharing this knowledge, because then, you know, me and my family would have had our citizenship intact and done our genealogy way sooner than we did. I mean, again, I went through this genealogy process and got tribal citizenship just in 2021. So it's not that I knew all my life that I was indigenous. No, I knew that instinctually. I've always participated in powwow and participated in different ceremonies and rituals, whether it was peyote or wachuma, or, you know, participating in certain activities that indigenous people did since time immemorial, like outdoors activities, kayaking, lacrosse, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, some of us just know in our DNA, but we owe it to our ancestors to take it a step further, do the genealogy, do the research, and get the reparations that were owed to our forefathers by way of tribal citizenship. But Antoine, were you able to find what you were looking for? Nope. Antoine going once. Antoine going twice. Uh-oh, I think we lost Antoine, y'all. I think we lost him. I know we were having some connection issues for most of this broadcast. I don't know if my man's is in the boonies. He says he's in Illinois. Well, guys, while we wait, let's see what the chat has to say. I know Jazz was saying he's in suspense and anticipation of what he's going to find out when he gets to that stage of uncovering his lineage. Yeah. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. And then people want to say, oh, if you're black and you're native, you were just a slave of a tribe. No. Not only were some people native and not slaves of tribe, you know, there's been black people free in America since the beginning of time, right? Before the white man got here, while the colonies were being formed, there were free black people. Free black people fought in the Revolution for the British and the colonists. Free black people fought in the Civil War. Free black people fought in every major war in the soil. Let's talk about it. But we got Antoine back. Antoine, how you doing?
All right, I'm good.
So yeah, were you able to find what you were looking for?
Yes, I was able to find my, I believe my 5th great grandmother. She was on the Chickasaw Dawes roll that I believe I emailed you. It's actually on
Oh, okay.
old paper.
Yeah, that's right. You said that you were disappearing for a moment to send me an email. Let me check my inbox. I don't see it. Let me double check my spam folder. Not in the spam. Maybe I just got to refresh. And you sent it to Mike at keymediapro.com?
Yes, through the same conversation we're having.
Oh, through the same thread?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why it's popping up. The last message I got from you was yes, I am 34 minutes ago. I swear this technology works until it doesn't. And yeah, Casey, that's super cool. The brother was able to do some real deep research.
Yeah, I just found it very interesting. There's so much the tribal change, and you know, again, the last one I was able to see was Chickasaw, and it was in the 1800s.
Do you have the roll number in front of you?
It was 812.
812.
Yeah, it was. She was registered underneath the Freedman roll, 812.
812. And her first name?
Susan.
Because although that email didn't come through for whatever reason, I can see if I can find her. Let's search the Freedman roll. And then you said it was Choctaw or Chickasaw?
It was Chickasaw.
Chickasaw. Doop, 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 doop. Chickasaw. Okay. What was that roll number again?
812.
So I think I might have typed it in the wrong section. You've got a roll number, and then you've got a card number. And then you said her first name again?
Susan. Should be a Susan Taylor.
Susan Taylor. Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I'm an idiot. I thought I was sharing my screen this whole time. Let me let me share my screen. Hold on just a second. Is it this one or is it this one? I think it's this one. Yep. So here we go. And this is exactly what I tell people all the time, you know. You can take your ancestors' first and last name and type it in on the Dawes rule, but that's really hit or miss. The only way to know for sure is by searching by their roll number. And you said her number was 812, right?
Yeah.
So we search 812. Her name was Susan. There's Susan Taylor right there, right? 42 years old, Chickasaw Freedman. Come on. So this brother in what from the time we had our consultation to the time it took you to find this information, what was this? 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, even if it took 2 months, I mean, come on, however long it takes. I mean, let the people know who haven't done their genealogy yet, how this impacts you. Because me personally, I know like the internal reward of just knowing my ancestors, knowing their name, knowing the roots, the different branches of the tree. But when you discovered all this information about your ancestors, how would you say it impacted you?
I find it very interesting because I'm the type of person who likes history already, but now to know some family history, and I'm actually trying to find out if there's an ancestral tie to the Seminoles, because there is an ancestor that was on the paternal side that was what was that called? He was going against the government for against the land, a petition. He held a petition against the land right around 1822, around 1822. So just right before the Trail of Tears. So it's very interesting, and it makes me want to look into it more. And it's I'm glad to know that it's just not what everyone says. Not all of us come from Africa. Some of us come from other places, and some of us have been here all along.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, they want to try to convince us that we come from Africa because then they can send us back to Africa, wink, wink. But the more and more we do the research and trace our lineage, the more we see we've got Aboriginal ties. And you know what? There's another thing I want to pull up real quick. Let me see. Let me see here. I want to show some people some more nuance and some more, unfortunate pieces of history. I think I got a PDF here somewhere. So, guys, this is also what you have to know, because just because you're able to trace your family's lineage, that doesn't always necessarily mean that you can get tribal citizenship or get tribal citizenship through certain organizations, right? Like this brother said, he has ancestors that are Chickasaw. He might have some that are Seminole, other tribes as well. He may be able to get citizenship through those other avenues. But when you look at a tribe like the Chickasaw, unfortunately, they were one of those tribes that didn't honor the Treaty of 1866. Most people don't realize that the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 only freed slaves held in U.S. territory. So that did not free any slaves held by the quote unquote 5 civilized tribes. The 5 civilized tribes had to free their slaves because of the Treaty of 1866. And that Treaty of 1866 said not only did they have to free them, but because they weren't treating these slaves like slaves, they actually were culturally fluent. They spoke their language. They married into the tribe with different tribal members. Because of this, they had to not just emancipate them, but they also had to give them full tribal citizenship and all the benefits. That was part of the freedmen's reparations package. If you guys aren't familiar with the Treaty of 1866, and I'm sorry, this is a different treaty. This right here is the Treaty of Dancing Rabbit Creek. This right here speaks on the Treaty of 1866 as it relates to my tribe, the Creek Nation. It says right here, the United States signed a treaty. The Creeks, among other important stipulations, had to give up half of their domain and admit their emancipated Negroes to equal and civil rights, grant the way for the construction of a railroad through the country, and also agree to such legislation. The part of Congress may be necessary to establish a judicial system in Indian territories and a general council with definite legislative powers composed of delegates for each nation. So long story short, 1866, they told the tribes, hey, you got to do this, 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 and this. And part of those stipulations were emancipating the freedmen and giving them full tribal citizenship. And some of the tribes said they will, some of the tribes said they wouldn't. My tribe was one of the ones who said they wouldn't. So those freedmen went to Congress, and in 2018, they got it overturned. So as recently in 2018 is when freedmen, part of the Muscogee Creek Nation, were allowed to be full card-carrying members. So now when we look at this brother and we see that he does have indigenous ancestry, but this is through someone that's a Chickasaw freedman. Well, the way that a lot of these tribes discriminate against the freedmen is they'll say, hey, to be a member of the tribe, you have to have an ancestor on the Dawes roll who has a blood quantum. And as you can see, they don't give the freedmen blood quantum. They don't acknowledge their Indian blood. Any freedman you see on the Dawes roll, whether it's a Creek freedman, a Cherokee freedman, anything in between, they're not going to have a blood quantum. And that's how they were able to exclude them. So now when you take a look at my family, for example, my ancestor who's on the Dawes roll, his name is Pleasant Tobler. So if we look at my ancestor, where's Pleasant? Here he is, Pleasant Tobler. Pleasant Tobler is listed on the Dawes roll at 2 years old. His blood quantum is 1/2, and he's a Creek by blood. So I don't descend from a freedman, I descend from a Creek by blood. But why does he say he's half blood instead of full blood? Well, because his mother was a light-skinned, white-passing native, and his father was a melanated native classified as a freedman. And since they don't acknowledge the blood of a freedman, they didn't acknowledge his father's blood, so now they call him half-blood. So now when you look at my citizenship card and it says my blood quantum is 132, well, my blood quantum would be a lot more than that if they acknowledged my ancestor as full blood instead of discriminating because his father was classified as a freedman. So, this is just a little hint into the many of things that I get into when we do these personalized genealogy consultations, because there's a lot of subtle nuance. There's a lot of treaties and policies and regulations. And, I just wish I had somebody to walk me through it. So that's why I'm making sure to lead people on their path. But before we wrap up, Anton, go ahead and give us some closing remarks. Let us know what else is on your mind. Right after this stream, I'm actually doing a Disagreement Day live stream because I've been causing some controversy on the internet, and there's some people who may disagree, who may want to have a little debate. So next stream, guys, stick around. We're gonna do a Disagreement Day live call-in show.
All I gotta say is you gotta have receipts, and Mike seemed to be the king of receipts.
Hey, I just try to live up to the name. That's the plan. But yeah, Antoine, I appreciate you for taking the time to call in, educating people on your process, how it's going, and just really speaking truth to power on the fact that a lot of us have Aboriginal ties. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, when you did that research and you're going back to the 1700s, did you see anything that said you came off of a slave ship from Africa?
Just a slight possibility, because Chief Inoeli, it did state that he had a slave named Hannah, in which I do think that's where we got placed into the freedman bloodline.
I see.
Yeah, that's about it. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, but at the same time, just because you're freedmen, that doesn't mean you're African. You know, in the colonies, they were reclassifying Black Indians as Negro and other slaves since 1682. So first we were indigenous, then we went from indigenous to Negro, then Negro became synonymous with slave, then slave became synonymous with African. Then from African, we go to colored, Black, and the 1988 African American. So just because that person was a slave doesn't necessarily mean they came off of shit from Africa. I mean, there was a whole lot of indigenous folks that were being enslaved. Before the transatlantic slave trade, there was an Indian slave trade. They were shipping us to Europe and the Caribbean and back and forth.
Yep, that's it right there. Because you know, there's so many ties to different tribes, and again, you know, just because it was stated that she was a slave, there was multiple children, but I kind of think it was more than that, you know. But I'll just keep digging
Hey,
until I find more.
she could straight up be listed in documents as African. That don't mean she really African. I mean, they really went through the documents and did a number on our people. So you know, there's times where I'll consult with someone. We're looking through the records. One record for their ancestor says they're Indian. Next record says they're mulatto, and then the
Right.
next record later on in their life says they're colored. So it's like,
Right, 'cause,
damn, the reclassification is real.
Because I saw the connection to Choctaw, and there's one called Anola, Anola Black Fox, and that's what it meant in Choctaw, I believe. And again, this is coming right after Chief Enoela and the slave Hannah, and then there's a connection to.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, hey, brother. Thanks for calling in. I'm glad I was able to help you along in your journey. And yeah, don't be a stranger. Let me know what other things you find.
All right, that's not a problem.
All right, peace out, brother. Talk to you soon.
All right, yep.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere. As soon as this stream ends, it's going to automatically push you into the Disagreement Day call-in show. We'll see if anybody got some smoke from Mike. I'm hoping, I'm praying somebody got a problem. I'm praying that somebody has a picture of me posted on their wall that they've been throwing darts at and little ninja stars. I just hope that there's somebody who can give me a proper challenge. Let's see. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I always end up disappointed. But don't go anywhere. There'll be a 10-second countdown on your screen, and then the next broadcast will start automatically. I'll see you over there in just a second.